Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Something Super Spiritual Live. I have one of my most favorite people on the planet here with us, Lauren Rainbow. Thank you so much for being here. You're just always a big ball of love and happy, joyful energy, and I love it.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back and to be live and to just be here. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. You are on the East Coast.
Yes.
And I'm on the West Coast, and we were just talking earlier that today is that big super blue moon. So you'll be seeing it before I will. And talk a little bit about that energy and what it really means for us.
Yeah. I mean, I think moon energy is just incredible energy to work with. It's all about cycles, and it's all about our inward movement, our emotional energy and our emotional body, which is why I think we have, we feel open and more energetic during a full moon and maybe a little more quiet and softer and introverted during the new moon. So we're in a blue moon, which I'm not an astrologer, so there's probably people there who give you a lot more, but we're in the second full moon of August. And
Yep.
As we're closing out August, we literally bookended this month with 2 full moons. And I think it's really just about, to me, when I'm in blue moon energy, I love this because it's rare. And I think this reminds us to connect to the things in our lives that maybe we put on the back burner because we don't always think it will merge for us, or, what a 1 in a million chance kind of stuff. And I feel like it's time to dream into, during blue moon energy, the things that we put on the back burner that maybe we don't seem are possible, and dreaming into them being more possible in our lives. Because I think that's what the rarity of the blue moon reminds us of. It's things are possible. So I love this energy as we open up into full moon. And I always say with people to just bask in it. I think the easiest you can do is go stand outside in the moonlight, let that cool energy just calm your emotional body. It's gorgeous.
It really is. And, to have this, like you said, bookended in this month, I think it's such a great description because, the full moon, when we do the full moon rituals, the full moon is, I'm not an astrologer either, folks. So this is coming to the layman's terms here. But I mean, the full moon energy is where we let go of things, right? We let go of things. And to have this opportunity 2 times in this 1 month, plus today's a super moon. So it's like even closer to us than it will be like for a long time, I think. That's really, really cool. So anyway, it's a great day to be sitting here with you. That is my point.
Likewise.
And look who we have. We've got, hi, Bonnie. Oh, did you see Bonnie's message? Oh, look at Bonnie's message to you.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for tuning into the meditations and working with them. And I'm wondering, Bonnie, if that was sitting in the power or which one, but we do have them on YouTube for anyone to access. So thank you for having that great energy, sharing, feeling all the clairs, seeing amazing visions. Keep working that, Bonnie. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. I love that. That work is so, it's so exciting to me because that newness of when we're going in and developing our clairs and developing all of those new
oohs and the ahs.
the experiences, the light shows behind our eyelids and the connections that we start to feel, from spirit. Oh, it's just so cool.
Enjoy every moment of the beginning. I always say it eventually becomes like your life. You're working with these abilities, working with your intuition and your clairs. In the beginning, it's like, oh my God, look at this, feel that. This is so cool. And then it kind of becomes normal. And I like the fact that it's normal now. It's a way of, trusting and being more fluid. But I love the beginning of our journey when we're first really getting in tune with our intuition. And have fun playing, expressing, and connecting in all the ways that you can. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is wonderful. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that point up, because there comes a point, at least there did for me, probably 15 years ago or so, where I had been moving through all this excited newness, right? And then it started to become normal, like you're talking about. And it almost like feels like, wait a minute, am I still connected?
Yes.
Am I still connected? You know?
It's quieter.
Yeah.
It just feels like, I remember one time when my mediumship in the beginning and working with spirit, it was like so palpable and it was so clear when a spirit would step in that that's the spirit there. And now I'm like, it's still there and it's still fast, but it's softer and it makes you, I remember when that started the transition, like, what's happening? Am I losing my grip? But at the same time, I think that's part of just our ability to assimilate into the energy of spirit and get that much more acclimated and connected with the energy, that it does seem more seamless and more of a shared experience than such a drastic feeling of separation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which we're not really separated.
No, well, you know, that's just it. I've had so many of those conversations with my team and spirit and God, you know, like, okay, I know I'm not alone. I know that I'm still connected, but I'm telling you, I feel so alone right now, you know? And so you're asking for all of these like divine miracles to happen in that very flash moment, you know?
Yeah.
Tell
But
me
I
you're
think,
still here.
you know, it's funny in the beginning too. I think we see the magic so much more, right? The signs, everything's a sign. You know, I remember my first few years, you know, every little detail, oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense, you know. And now when I see the signs, it's so much more like, okay, thank you. That it just has a different clarity, has a different feeling. But we're always asking. I almost feel like I ask less now that I work with it, and it's just more of a trust flow than it is about, can you help me with this? Can you do that with me? It's just more like we just work together. It's almost like this, it's intuitive. It's like a mental mind read with the guides of just, okay, here we go into that. Here we go into
Oh my God. You know, I'm so glad you said that. I just did, I had a couple spiritual assessments today, and I was talking about, it was a theme within these spiritual assessments where I was talking about how we are co-creating. We are co-creating with our guides, with our team, with spirit. And it gets to a point where what you just said, you're working together and you start to have this ongoing dialogue with your guides, with your guardians, with your loved ones. And it starts to like just, it's flows, and it's not so much of a one-sided thing where we're waiting for spirit to splash us with all of these signs, and, you know, where it's now a free-flowing constant dialogue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Can I share a quick little story? And I see someone asking a question, and maybe we'll, with Molly, kind of flow right into that question. You know, you're talking about the connection, right? And that fluidity. And I feel like in the beginning, there is such a defined almost separation. I remember my guides would feel energetically outside of me.
Yes.
You know, like here's an energy and I'm feeling the information in the flow. And after some years of that, it went quiet for a while. It went really quiet. And I was still doing mediumship and I was still working with spirit. It was beautiful and it was great, but I almost thought that I lost my guidance, like for a good year. And it was almost a depression of sorts. It was like, wow, everything was so clearly out here and it just went quiet.
Yeah.
And I remember one day kind of in a meditation and in a really, not really a dark place, but a place of like, what happened? You know, I kind of go in and I'm like, okay, guys, what happened? And I just felt this message come through of like, we're here inside you. We are not separate from you. So it was really like this aha of, I've never been away from it. It's just, that's what I mean by it just gets more fluid for people when you realize that you're all one, it's all connected. It becomes more of just a knowing flow than an actual separate voice from outside of you.
Totally.
And Molly, I think it was, we're talking about this ability to tap into spirit or your guides. I think that anyone can tap in for sure. Are some people more naturally attuned in the beginning? Oh, yes. You know, some people are better singers. You know, some people have a natural ability to sing. Some people have to practice and learn how to sing. And I think being with spirit and mediumship and intuition is the same. Some just feel a little bit more naturally in tune, but it doesn't mean development isn't still needed.
Right.
And I think some folks have the innate ability, but may need to develop and practice it more to really learn how that works in a way. So I feel that it is in a way for some, yes, it's twofold, that anyone can tap in, and we do all the time, really. But for some, it's just more natural of an ability, and others just have to develop it differently.
You know, I love that you brought up the development, because this work, this growth, this expansion is always developing. We are constantly developing, forever developing. And Yeah, I discovered what my clairs were back in like 2007, old school Doreen Virtue workshop in Hawaii.
I did one of those in
Yeah.
2003 in
And
Sedona.
I was like, holy cow, this is clairvoyance. This is like,
Yeah.
I was blown away. And then, I mean, really, as time went on, I ended up at Arthur Finley back in 2019. And that's where I really learned to fine tune them and really understand how they work for me and how because, they're as similar as they all are, they all feel a little bit different. They're a little bit different for each of us. We experience them differently.
Yeah.
And that development, like you said, it's ongoing and
it's so many different ways of development. It's not just in mediumship development classes or in intuitive development classes. Sometimes it's in healing, aspects of yourself, or learning a healing technique to add it to your energy field. I'm going away this weekend for a whole weekend of chanting just to be in divine energy. And to me, that's also part of the work, right? Sometimes it's
totally
about celebrating and just being in an energetic ceremony. It doesn't always have to be done in a class format.
Yep.
So I think as long as you're always connecting with your spirit in any way, and again, like this weekend and chanting in that, bringing up the energy is about me connecting with my spirit. And as mediums, we have to stay in tune with our spirit in order to stay really present in this work. You being in tune, you getting your health, mental, emotional, physical health always tuned into is important 100 for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Completely. Completely. Yeah. Hi, Molly. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you for that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. Cassie Clayton. Hi, Cassie. Yeah, Michael. Hi, Michael. Keith. Subi. Hi there. Patricia. Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette.
Oh my goodness.
Donna and Kate, Samantha and Liz.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, Keith says, hi, Lauren. Here, like.
How's New Hampshire? I'm in Maine, and it was raining here today as well, Keith. We've been drenched in New England here. So for those of you over on the West Coast, you guys got some rain, but you could probably use a little bit more of what we're dealing with out here. It's been a rainy day and a rainy summer. I'm looking forward to fall now and just kind of getting into the energy of life and flow.
Yeah, we are on the doorstep of fall. And Lauren and I were just talking about this before we came on. And I love this like we are like at just pumpkin spice season is almost here. And I'm like, woo! I love the fall. I love the energy of the fall, the changing color of the leaves. And I don't have a lot of that here in California. Not like you guys in the Northeast, and I have not experienced that. And I just
come here and enjoy in the middle of late September, early October. It is the most gorgeous time of year. Do you know why so many, especially spiritual people, like fall so much?
Ooh, do tell.
It's not an accident. I mean, if you think about Halloween, an Old Souls Day, that the kind of the thinning of the veil, as they say. I use a different terminology for that, like a time where the spirit world is drawing closer to us. Mm-hmm. And that lifts our energy, right? When we're in the energy of spirit, one of the things that I know we wanted to kind of talk about today was working with the energy of the aura and how spirit works with us. And this is a time of year that we're entering where we do feel more spirited. I mean, think about what it's like to be outside in the crisp air and smelling, for us here, it's like a freshness in the air as the leaves start to change. And it's weird as we're moving into winter that we feel this weird, like, life is alive moment. And I absolutely feel it has everything to do with that climactic movement into that kind of Halloween, the Old Souls Day transition, that 31st November 1st time is really a deep spiritual time of year. And again, Halloween, I think, has modernized and commercialized what really is a day of celebrating spirit. And literally the next day, and in some traditions, is the Day of the Dead. A lot of faiths find a deep connection to spirit at that time of year. So I think that's why we're really attracted to it. We're feeling the buildup as I get goosebumps as I'm saying this. We're feeling the buildup of that spiritual closeness. Mm-hmm. And then as we move into winter and it wanes back a little bit, we kind of then go into that little introverted, inner space space sometimes as we move into winter solstice. So that's why I think this is a big time of year for spiritual people unconsciously.
Yeah. And, and then we roll into winter and we're underneath our comforters, and it's just cozy and it's time to rest and rejuvenate. Yeah. I love that you brought up the how did you word it? The unseen, not the veil. You said something else.
I just call it a, kind of some people call it the thinning of a veil. I kind of see it as just spirit being able to connect closer with us.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't see a veil there that separates us in spirit. So to me, and I'm not denying that there maybe is a form of what level, if you will. But when I work with spirit, it's they're here in the presence with me. So I don't always see it as a veil, but I do think there is a close vibration that lifts in this time.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what we're tuning into.
I agree. I agree. I'm not quite sure that I recognize a veil somewhere out there. You know what I mean? Like the way that I see it with my own journey and my own experience, it's like, we come into this incarnation in this body with the amnesia, right? We forget who we are, who we truthfully are. And we move through life and it's a big learning curve, all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So to me, like this body is our veil. Like this is our body. And when we fine tune by doing our own work, our own healing, we're starting to recognize all of the past wounds and the traumas that we start to face and see through with the lens of compassion and forgiveness and grace. We start to let all those wounds go and we start to vibrate at a higher rate. We start to increase our frequency. Thus our veil starts to lift. You know what I mean? Because we're starting to
awareness.
Yes, we're starting to meet that higher vibe.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing. And I love too that we're talking about the aura. So when we're feeling our aura, are seeing our energy and the colors, as we increase our vibe, our colors start to shift and our colors start to rise and talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think the aura, we think of in terms of color. And to me, I'm as a medium, I'm not actually a dominantly clairvoyant medium. So I don't really see the aura of colors around people. I know they're there. I've seen Kirlian photography. I've had mine done. But what I sense about people in the aura is the vibration frequency that we all, and I think that's something that every single person is doing every day with every human they come across. Our aura is the extension of energy outside our body. When you're seeing, if you have the clairvoyant eye and you're able to see that constant shifting of color and energy, which by the way is constant. When we look at a Kirlian photography, which is the way people are able to photograph auras, you often see a dominant color because that's one snapshot in 1 second. But because our moods and energies are constantly moving and changing, that color pattern for those who can really see it is in constant motion. And what I've learned about the aura and why I think it's hugely important to intuition and, kind of psychic awareness and mediumship awareness is it is your kind of pre-warning navigation system to what's entering your energy through vibration, right? So you're vibrating, your soul vibrates bigger than your physical body. And when you enter the space of each person, you're getting information the minute you walk by someone and that energy wave starts to connect with somebody's energy wave. That's how when you weirdly feel someone's mood going, oh, they don't seem like they're in a good mood today, even though they might have a smile. You're actually receiving auric information from everybody all the time.
Yeah.
So you're sitting at a conference room table and you got a lot of this merging going on, which I'd seen, I think it was Patricia that had put up about how people who are very empathic feel drained by other people. And this is why your auras are mixing and taking in energy. And if your mind isn't trained to simply feel and acknowledge, then it's going to feel drained by other people and spirit. You want to understand that as you're just intuiting information, but if you put your mind into it, oh, what is going on with that person's energy? Let me dive into that. Yeah. Then you're starting to create the drain because there's a part of acknowledgement or awareness that's moving into someone's energy. So your aura is huge. It's important. It is how you feel through the world all the time.
Mhm.
And this is why I think everybody's intuitive, because everybody can certainly react to someone's expression or energy just by moving with them, right?
Yeah.
And so spirit is very much the same. When spirit comes to work with me, there is a vibration that enters into my field. And in that, I start to go, oh, is this a male or female? Is this, oh, this feels like I'm receiving in my aura information from that spirit once that contact is created.
Yeah.
And it can even, when we're open to it empathically, because everybody's an empath. I absolutely hugely believe everyone's an empath. But the minute you really work, and if anyone's developing medium, I think this is important, and you feel their spirit, you can also open your emotion and go, hey, what were you like to hang out with? And sometimes that vibration's like, hee, that was kind of fun. Or, and so I think the aura is important to know. It is your soul's resonance. It is absolutely your unique fingerprint, but it does change day by day. And when we talk about vibration, if I can put on myself on a little soapbox, we talk about raising our vibration. I think this is huge to talk about because we are emotionally changing all the time. And you're allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to feel sad. And on the days that you feel sad and somebody who knows you might walk by and notice that your aura maybe isn't quite as vibrant, doesn't mean you're a low vibrating person, by the way. It means you're having a sad moment.
Yeah. And if you need to have a temper tantrum, make it big and make it good.
When you're going to feel that, right?
Get
When
it all
someone's
out.
angry, you're going to go, I feel that. What is going on? And how you react to what you're feeling is your control. That's your control. You don't have the ability to control personally the other person's emotion, but how you take it in is your control. At the same time, I feel like this is important when we talk about our vibrations and our frequencies. And I see a lot of stuff online that kind of hurts me in the heart when we talk about, oh, that person's low vibrating, or, maybe their vibration's not as good as mine, so I don't want to mix with that vibration. And we kind of get judgy because someone may be having a bad day, or maybe they're feeling depressed, and you're intuiting that. And then we almost judge, oh, they must have a low vibration. And it's not always about that, is it? It's sometimes, I've had some people, Lauren, you don't have a great vibration. Yeah, I'm having a bad day. So I think that's important to remember as well. When people talk about vibration, you have the ability to work with it, just like you were saying, Jeffrey, to heal it, to cleanse it, to meditate and just shift and take care of your energy. I almost refer to this as energy hygiene. We take a shower every day. We got to cleanse our energy every day. That's what we have the ability to do, especially if you're an empath. Again, everyone's an empath, but if you're feeling extremely empathic, you got to cleanse your energy all the time, because you're carrying other people's frequencies all the time.
I'm so glad you said that. I hadn't seen Patricia's comment yet, but the empath in us, that's where we're getting that information from our aura. We're tapping in through the aura. And some people a little bit more sensitive to it than others, but we all have had that experience at one point or another. And I love Patricia's question. She's been feeling drained by other people's energies. She can do it pretty well and not take on negative energy, but it's hard. Yes, it can be. Being that and clairsentient makes me extremely sensitive energy. Yes. It can be difficult to manage. Any advice?
And Patricia, I know, lovely angel. And, a lot of people I think are really sensitive, like Patricia out there, and you can sometimes feel out of control with your empathy. I get it. The thing is that you're very caring people, and that's a beautiful attribute to have, to be caring, to be compassionate. But there's also a boundary of love that should happen with care and compassion. When you're giving so much care and so much compassion that it's actually detrimenting you, you're actually not doing service. When you're taking, water from an empty well and trying to give somebody something you don't have. And so it's really important. That's why we say the energy hygiene, and be caring, but not overly so that you give every part of you out to the world and you're not taking care of you, because then that's actually not being service. So it's a practice. Empathy is a practice, and finding your boundary and your ground with it can be a practice, as anything that we do, right? So practice it, work with it, ground.
Yeah, it's a great awareness to have where you need to have your boundaries.
Yes.
And boundaries are very important. And then of course, grounding, keeping ourselves grounded. Just if you take 3 deep breaths with the intention of coming back into yourself, present and connected to Mother Earth, boom, you're grounded.
It's that fast. Heart
Yeah.
breathe, connect to your heart and breathe and
Yep.
ground down. There's so many easy, fast ways to do that throughout your day. As somebody, Jeffrey, I'm sure you do this too. Here's a question I have for you. When you're doing readings all day, and I do sit here and do readings all day, what's your go-to break? Like, what do you feel like after you've been in and out of connection? What do you like to do for a second to just center, make a lunch? What is that go-to for you?
So I have to fully, I breathe, like I focus on my breaths, and in focusing on that breath, I really with the intention of really coming back into myself, like bringing my awareness back into here. And I ask that all the cords are cut, between all of the energetic cords, between all of the people in spirit, the guides that we've been talking to, get all of that. And so that I'm all back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's important to have those steps all the time, right? When we are disconnecting and we're completely done with our time. For me, it's a little simpler, and there's no wrong way. I think that it's important to understand there's absolutely no wrong way to do that. I like the cord cutting concept. For me, I literally get up, I walk outside, I kick off my shoes, and I take a walk around my backyard in the grass barefoot, or I grab my, I do a little, cleanup, I weed, I actually touch the earth. And I feel like that's another way and it just kind of brings me, like you're saying, back into, it makes me breathe. It makes me just come right back into something beautiful. And it just brings me back into that space. So, there's many ways, but that earth piece, that breathing back in is it's important that we ground. And as spiritual people, we tend to feel that being ungrounded means I don't have to deal with life. And that's not true either. So you might as well deal with it grounded. It's more graceful.
That's it. That is totally it. When I'm not grounded, I always say I'm like that helium balloon in Bugs Bunny. I'm just like, I can't focus. I'm all scattered. I can't even form a sentence. Yeah.
It's important to lift, but stay present.
Yeah.
I do my best mediumship when I'm grounded, ironically.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. We've got, let's see. We had something here from, somebody was responding to Patricia. Michelle. Okay, so I like this. This is cool. Michelle puts a glass of water out to be charged by the full moon.
Love it.
Very cool.
I like the drinking it the next morning, getting the energy of the moon inside of you, Michelle. That's really great for that cool. And again, you're beautiful. It's full moon, so it's a good full moon charge tonight, blue moon energy. And we just talked about how the moon is about emotions.
Yeah.
And drinking it on the other side of that full moon as it's waning, right? Waxing on, wane off. I know. And so I love that. I might go do that tonight myself. Thanks, Michelle. It's kind of like messages from water, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Charge the water into the full moon and see what those crystals look like when you freeze it.
Oh, Patricia.
Thank you, Patricia. Love you, love.
Yes, I'm hugging you from here.
I love that.
Okay, so Bobby, you've had some losses. I'm so sorry to hear this. I feel like no energy for a long time, just a lot going on with family, and have 3 passes of family members, 2 sisters and a mom from 16 to 19, still grieving.
Oh, God bless you, love.
Yeah.
Still grieving or empath? I don't know if you're asking, Bobby. Sorry, hon, what were you going to say, love?
I think it's both. I mean, you're absolutely an empath, but here's the thing: grieving, there's no easy way through it. I mean, we have to experience it, and it's okay to not be okay. And it doesn't look the same for each one of us, right?
Yeah.
And it's a roller coaster. You might feel good one day, like you feel like, oh, I'm moving through this. And then the next day, boom, face in a pillow and sobbing again, and that's just.
COVID's done that to me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't understand what we're grieving. Bobby, God bless you, my dear. And it's a lot at once. It's a lot in a short amount of time. It's a lot to process. And, one of the things I just want to kind of, put into that there is, I agree. It's a little bit of both of grieving and empathy. And I think, grieving is a part of empathy. It's how you feel. So, this is a really important time I don't know if Bobby, you're still on this. I haven't smiled in a long time. Can I take a quick read on this for a second? Is that fine? Yeah. So Bobby, if you're chiming in, I feel like I have maybe a sister or one of the women here that is coming in from the spirit. She feels like she was a fast passing, almost unexpected, or we didn't see it coming. And she's laughing and feeling like you were very close to her and almost trying to rescue with her or help her before she transitioned. Bobby, does that make any sense? If you can chime in with a yes or no, and see if something pops up real quick. I just want to leave a message with that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can at least say the message and we can keep connecting and see what he puts in there. I feel like I want to leave you this message, Bobby, from one of these women in the spirit that had my eldest sister. Okay. I feel like she wants you to know that she's kind of always knocking on your door and really feeling like she is, kind of trying to guide you and connect with you, and really feel like you are knowing that it's really important. I know, I hear her, that you were just a support. You were supporting me. You were helping me. And I just feel like she wants you to know I'm okay and I'm sorry. So if you can just understand that piece, Bobby, that would be great. While we wait for an answer there, let's see where that goes. So sorry, I just felt that drop in.
Okay, that's why we're here. Yeah.
We'll see if some more chimes in from him. Anyway, in the meantime.
Yeah. Let's everybody send a little extra love to Bobby right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right. You know what? Well, since we got that door open, let's do some mini readings. Bobby says, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Sorry, the energy just went there.
Yeah. If you guys would like a reading, please put your question in the comments in caps so that it's easier for us to find.
Or read.
That's very, and read. Yeah, read. Yeah. In my progressives, I'm all. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us too. This is great.
Yeah, you guys, this is awesome.
We have a lovely Brandy, another fabulous medium on the channel. Hi, honey. Oh, new comment.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna.
Yes to a reading. Alma, do you have a question for us?
You know what, darling? Lauren, you take this. Eveline has a question. It's the first one I just saw. And while oops, where is she? There we go. And while you're while you're doing this, I'm gonna star some.
Okay, perfect. So, and if you see it, I don't know if you tune in a little bit too and, kind of tandem read with me, but that's cool too. So Eveline, the first thing I want to acknowledge about getting a job in September, and I always look at when we make any predictions is the energy moving? Are you actively seeking? Because a lot of people ask questions like, am I going to find love? But they're not really active in the energy of it. So the good news is I feel like there's action and activity here. So you must be either in the process currently of some interviews or getting some resumes out. So I do feel like there is definitely a sense of something coming really soon, if not in September, early October. Financially secure is coming. I still think there's a little bit of a feeling of rebuilding and getting organized around finances. So I don't know if you're a little bit nail biting or kind of making it work right now. I feel like there's definitely a little bit of stress around the money, but I definitely think that once this new workspace lands for you, it's going to start to feel a little bit more secure over time. The good news too is I feel like you've got a good wit around you when it comes to money and managing that. So I think that will hopefully help with that a little bit. So I don't know if you kind of chime in at some point, let us know if that makes sense, but that's what I got for you, Eveline. Keep going on the workspace though. It really feels like you're actively seeking. So that I think will really start to open up for you soon.
Fabulous. Thank you, darling. All right.
I haven't done live readings like this in so long. I love it. I miss it. I used to do radio readings all the time.
Yeah, I this is so much fun. So, what's Donna? Donna asks, is this phase going to pass?
Well, every phase passes. That's why it's a phase. But let's talk about the energy of what I'm feeling around you, Donna, as you're moving through this phase, to see if we can give you a little bit of information there. It really feels like I'm kind of right in the center of my heart with you right now. And I feel like you're in a very introverted space. It feels like you've been kind of almost reevaluating some aspects of life, either money, career, both, or relationship. But I feel like there's a lot kind of really spinning up in your heart right now. And it feels like you're waiting for the dust to settle. So some decisions are being made right now. And I feel like you need to be really patient, especially in what feels like till about maybe October to early November. So this phase is still a little deep for a little bit of time. But I do feel like you're coming out of this in that fall time, later fall, feeling a little bit renewed, which is a good energy and vibration I'm sensing as well. So yes, all phases pass, which is great. The good news is I think you're on more an upswing than a downswing here. What were you feeling, love?
Yeah, I was absolutely, I feel this sense of tension and anxiety and just being in this state of constant fight or flight, like I've got a decision to make, or I'm being caught in this place of just not being able to move, that analysis paralysis that happens. And Donna, I just want you to know that you've got so much support from the other side there. And it feels to me like this, I was feeling like right around the beginning of the holidays, like Thanksgiving-ish, like later fall, it's feeling like it's opening up. It feels like metaphorically how I see it, it's like the light's getting brighter. The sun is coming out, so to speak. Yeah, I really want to encourage you to really take some deep breaths through this and keep yourself grounded the best that you can, knowing that your guides, your guardians, your loved ones, everybody is supporting you in ways. Like if we could truly see that, what they're doing for us from here, we would just we would be like, oh, we're good. We're okay. But you need to know that they are absolutely with you.
Yeah, I love that. And one last piece, you did pull base chakra energy. So get grounded, Donna. Speaking of grounding earlier, get grounded. Go walk up barefoot out there, and that will help you, I think, kind of feel more graceful in this phase. Thank you, Donna.
Okay, Charlene. Hi, Charlene. Thanks for being here. Your Reiki business. I'm assuming like you're asking about it, like where is it? Is it going to get better?
Can I tune in a little bit there?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you have any, again, I'll keep an eye. Hello, I hear her going hello. So Charlene, there we go. Okay, so when I tune in here, I don't know if this is a newer business format for you, but it does feel like you've had some history here, and I feel like there's something that's either been. Is it going to get better? Yes. So yes. You have a little history here, it feels like, but there's still some newness around it. So I don't know if it's been a new space or a shift of space. I feel like space is an issue, by the way. So I don't know if it's where you're doing it or feeling like you're in that right location for the growth. But it also feels like you're coming back to the business or kind of bringing more love back into it after a little bit of challenge or time here. Oh, wait. So Charlene, I'm actually just seeing a comment that you've mentioned, I think a middle daughter has passed. So I don't know if this is also what's kind of pulled you back into the work or called you into the work, but it almost feels like I saw that just as we were talking about this. I don't know if she was kind of a bright, energetic spirit, but I do feel a beautiful young energy coming in that's bright, energetic, and chatty. And I feel like there's a sense of keeping, this is almost like a tipping point movement with the business. Try not to give up now, because I feel like you're building and brewing, that if you give up too soon, you might just kind of miss your tipping point, which it feels like you're leaning into at the second. So I feel like she's up there, your daughter's up there keeping an eye on you. Jeffrey, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah. Charlene, the business aspect feels like it's been a bit of a struggle. And I understand that, because I understand, I having done Reiki since 2006, the business aspect of this practice is not in my wheelhouse. And I have had to go to other people for guidance, for understanding, for learning to market, learning to, get myself out there. And I really want to encourage finding those in your circle that have this in their wheelhouse, really like putting yourself in places where the network can grow and the network can bloom, because there really feels to be a lot of really energy around that. The potential is beautiful for you. The healing energy that is coming from you, when you're doing your Reiki, put Reiki at your business, put Reiki towards the growth of your business. And that will also help kind of free, as we know what Reiki does. Reiki is like a Drano for our energetic pipeways, right? So throw some Reiki into that as well. And collab. I keep hearing the word collab. So really get together with other healers out there and start like doing things like this together. Just getting yourself out there, talking your own superpower. Talk up your superpower, because you have so much healing to offer, especially with your voice too. On top of your hands-on, use your voice, honey. Yeah.
You know what's funny, when you talked about using Reiki symbols way back in the day, and maybe this is something as well that, Jeffrey, you're inspiring here. Way back in the day when I used to work in a metaphysical shop and studio, I remember we were building a new one, and we actually painted Reiki symbols all over the walls and all over the floor before they put the rug down. Like we literally took physical paint, painted them, and then painted over them to really imprint that healing energy into the room. And it kind of reminded me of that, because when I moved into my home, we did the same thing. So I think that was brilliant that you said that. So using exactly that, the Reiki energy to move things is also important. So I love that.
It's 4:44 right this very second on my microwave. So that's just a little like
hi, angels.
Quick little flow from the angels. And think back, like when were you going through Reiki, in the 2000s?
2001 is when I got my first attunement. And, back in the day, I did Reiki, a lot of different healing modalities, IET, integrated energy therapy, shamanism. Yeah, I loved working with those energies. And, what I love about it is, for folks like us who maybe don't use it every day, it's still a great tool in the box to just activate and work with whenever you need to. So I love it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Charlotte.
Feeling old.
Okay, so next question. My screen just did something bizarre. Okay, so Patricia, you're welcome. She says thank you so much. Yeah, sending love to you. I'm sorry, it's Charlene. I saw Patricia next to her. Okay, you guys. Oh, you know what?
Wow.
Robin. Hi, Robin. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, Robin. Glenn is always with you. We know this. He wants me to, I just got okay. So aside from your picture with these dogs, he is making me feel like I want to talk about the new dogs. There's this feeling of this new excitement in your life. And it's like, he wants me to, I feel like I have to say I'm part of it. Like I guided her to those dogs. It's like, and I see a smile again. So, thank you for being here. And Glenn sends his love. Absolutely. Do you feel anything around Robin, darling?
It's interesting, because as you were kind of going there, and I don't know the particular situation, but I was feeling an intense love in my heart, Robin. And I feel like this was something that must have been very soul connected, and what feels like an unexpectedly swift transition for Glenn. If I'm feeling the gentleman's energy correctly. But I'm also feeling, I got this real sense of like sitting somewhere and laughing hysterically and, kind of spurring on energy. So I really felt an overwhelming sense of deep soul love, but also to remember some of these most joyful kind of amazing moments right now. So I love this energy, because I feel like he was strong, funny, and okay in the energy, which I think is also really important. Such beautiful heart connection.
Yeah, I have a little story to tell you. There's like she has a piece in my heart from literally like 16 years ago. When I came back from Doreen Virtue's week in Hawaii, I had just discovered that I was a medium just through that one day of I was like, holy cow, this is real. Well, while I was there, Robin had gone to my little baby website. I was doing card readings and angel readings and all that stuff. And she had booked a reading. It landed on the day after I came back from that trip.
Gorgeous.
And when we started that reading, her first question was wondering if she could hear from Glenn. Lauren, like at this moment, I literally put my head down on my desk. And I said, in my head, I said, okay, Glenn, if there was ever a time, now is that time. And it happened. Yeah. And she and I have had this connection ever since. So thank you. Thank you, Robin, for being here. Yeah, it was just the most amazing timing. So thank you, Robin.
It's really amazing as mediums. Something that I don't think people understand is we do bond. We feel the spirits so gorgeously. There's been so many people I've met in spirit that I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I would have just loved to spend more time with them and get to know them. And it teaches you about how incredible people really are. And I've met so many phenomenal, amazing connections of the people in spirit who have done amazing things in this world. And some things you could never fathom, like, oh, this person did that for work. Or, it's been I think it's such a blessing to get to not only know those in the living whom we love as well, but to really celebrate some of the amazing lives that some people have left. It's really fascinating.
It's so true. I often say that all the time to my sitters who I'm emailing them the recordings of their sessions. And it literally feels like in that hour, we got to spend time and get to know their family a little bit. And that it's like, it's just incredible. I'm just so grateful. Thank you everybody so much for being part of this. Okay. All right. Let's go to, where are all my starred ones? Oh, here we go. Flora. Hi, Flora. May I please have a message from my spirit guides? Thank you so much.
So, can I jump in on this?
Yeah,
I feel so quickly. I'm like, can I just? Flora, right away, I feel, it's funny because you're using the word guide here, and I'm actually sensing I'm going more into a guide than spirit in there. And I feel like you've got quite a team of really energetic energy that goes on around you. I don't know if your life sometimes feels like it's got a lot of kinetic movement, but I really kind of feel like there's a lot of kind of funny, kinetic, almost elemental energy that moves around in your spirit team here. So when I read this and it says, do you have a message from my spirit guides? The first thing I feel like I have to say is keep on doing you, keep on going, keep on sharing. It really feels like there's been a part of you that's really been kind of helping, whether friend, family, or really interconnections here. But I'm feeling like you're kind of really selfless and very kind of sharing in that way. But you've also got this kind of goddess kind of flow that comes with you as well. And I think it also helps you empower others. So if you're working in a way that's collaborating, helping people grow, bringing them inspiration, singing, performing, you would be in the right energy, because I really think there's a strong part of you that literally is inspiration walking. I love it. Just kind of breathing into your energy there. So the other piece of that message I feel like is a gentle, loving kick in the butt. It feels like this is a really a time to kind of get, grounded, there's a lot moving either around work, career, or growth in your life, new building things, new visions of things coming. And I feel like I want to say, dive, stick your heels in and start creating and building and really getting kind of expanded in that energy. So I'm really excited for you, because it feels like a lot of ramping up is happening. And I feel like you've moved a lot of things out of the way to get to this point.
You know what? Yes. Yes, Lauren. And that moving that stuff out of the way, that's what I was picking up on. And I really wanted to commend you at the work that you've been doing. I feel this sense of like doing this, I want to say almost like radical forgiveness. There's this like feeling of just really going deep, facing those past wounds and traumas and really just letting go. And that in itself is freeing up so much space. All that armor that you've been carrying around is just flaking away with each time you think about those wounds and those pains with compassion and grace. You're really just opening yourself up to all of this beautiful work that Lauren was feeling. And I also want to make a point that, like, I want to remind you, or like, I want to encourage you to get back out into nature, because there's this feeling about you and nature, like you and the grass, and like you have this real connection with the nature spirits. And it's like that you drawing so much energy from that is just like filling your cup in a way that's it's just kind of awesome. Thank you, Flora. I hope you're still here and heard that.
I know. I hope she comes back and tunes in, because I would get to you, Flora.
Yeah. You know what, Lauren, next time you're here, remind me to make you a co-host so you can go through and click these in between me, because they go so fast.
Can I talk? Hold on one second.
If you see one, grab one. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I was like, I'm trying to go back to it now. I know a lot of people are dealing with so much loss right now, by the way. And while we may get some messages from Spirit, I just want to give a general shout out to all of those who are dealing with loss and hoping for that message. And, you know, well, we can't always hit every single one of everybody in the connection of information. I just feel like it's so important to know that they are loving you. They are giving you connection all the time. And I saw someone, and I can't find it, but that was asking, like, they said they can't feel Spirit. And I feel like it's important to understand that Spirit is sometimes a feeling. It's sometimes a knowing. It's sometimes a sense, a smell, a thought. So, you know, Spirit is working in the most mysterious and subtle ways. And sometimes it is a feeling, like you might actually feel that energy is there. But whenever we are feeling disconnected, there's also a part of us that needs to get back into the practice of connection. And so I feel like whenever you're feeling disconnected or shut off, I've learned this with mediumship. Spirit never abandons us. I've been doing messages from Spirit for so long. And even in the middle of a message, if I have something shiny moment and and then I come back, the Spirit is still there, ready to communicate and keep going. So Spirit never abandons us. If we're not feeling it, there's somewhere in us that's shutting down or needing to connect. So I feel like I would, if anyone struggles, open that, to work onto whatever it is in you that wants to expand, sit in the power, breathe, as we're saying, ground, and allow yourself to reconnect with Spirit. And sometimes it's simpler to connect with the energy of overall Spirit, with a capital S, as I say, before you reach out to sometimes your loved ones, especially if you're in grief. You know, at least building the energy of love in you and building that connection to that universal love will help you not only move through that grief, but open the clarity to also reach our loved ones as well. So sometimes we want to desperately get that message, and that energy can almost be the block. So allow yourself to breathe. As mediums, to receive, we have to be soft. We have to be centered. We can't try too hard, because the minute we do, we tense up our energy, and it creates a struggle of flow. So softness, practice softness, breathing, because as mediums, that's what we have to do to even be able to hear Spirit. If I'm like this all day going, what are they going to say? I can't hear. I'll never get there.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. And I say this because I did this, like, yours truly. I mean, try not to have expectations and demands on how you believe it should work for you. I did that with my own clairaudience. I thought I was deaf, spiritually deaf. But it wasn't working in the way that I thought it was supposed to work. It wasn't working in the way that I expected it to work. So these spiritual senses that we all have, it is so subtle. It is so, so subtle. So when you're feeling Spirit, notice what might flash through your mind. Just a real flash, quick. And it could be just an emotion, you know, it could be an emotion. It could be a tickle on your right elbow. You know what I mean? And maybe that's, you know, maybe that's spirit or one of your loved ones, you know, touching you in that moment. And it's just a way for us to really get centered within our own self and allow it to be what it is supposed to be for us individually.
I love that. So true. Oh, I'm seeing some folks, by the way, in Vermont. Christine, thank you. I'm working on coming back to Vermont, so stay soon. Stay tuned. I don't know how to go about this, Jeffrey, but I do have a gentleman from the spirit, if we have a few moments. And for anyone who's tuning in, I'm not sure who I want to bring it to. I just want to bring in the evidence, and if somebody can chime in and let me know if it's connecting with you. But I have a gentleman that's coming in, and he's kind of tapping me here in what feels like a young elderly, not young elderly, sorry, young adult passing, so 20s, 30s, maybe early 40s kind of age. I'm feeling like my heart is stopping really fast, and I left this world really unexpectedly. I get the sense that he feels like this was internal, so either some kind of a stroke, heart aneurysm, or if it was some kind of struggle around an addiction that may have kind of overdosed there, but there's a real fast passing here. I feel like he wants to come through for somebody in this connection. I feel like he's feeling really apologetic. He's got a very kind of lanky build and look to him, by the way. And I feel like he had his own kind of suave personality and movement. I may have an M connection here. If anybody in the call can connect to any of this information, please put in the comments yes to all. So I know I can reach out to you here. So if a young man that's passed to the spirit, feels like a sudden death, feels like it's really fast moving. I feel like he's super apologetic. So Noreen, you're kind of coming in here. So again, yes to all is really helpful, as I just want to make sure that someone is getting all of this. So again, a fast passing, I feel like he left this world faster than he hoped to. I feel like I may be connected to the family, even if it's like a brother, nephew, but I feel like I want to come close to the family here. And again, I think there's a form of M name that has a significance. Oh my, it could be me. Yes to all. Okay. So we've got a couple people chiming in, and remember, yes to all. So I want to make sure that you understand the M name. Now, the other feeling is, again, this feels like an internal or accidental passing, a lanky kind of gentleman. Don't give me all the details. So if you're chiming in there, just let me know if it's a yes to all. And I feel like he seems a little bit responsible, but not from a suicidal perspective of how he passed to the spirit. So I feel like he really wants to let this family know that I'm okay. I'm really sorry that I transitioned. I feel like I was trying to get help or trying to move forward. And I feel, and Molly, I'm wondering if it's you with the M. So Molly, you're going yes to all. It's funny. I just said Molly and you chime in yes to all again. I love it. And I can't, he was a really incredible, brilliant young man. If you understand that as well. And I just think he wants everybody to know that I'm okay. I'm okay. And for anybody that maybe even resonates with part of this, it might be a big message. But Molly, if you understand, I'm okay. And I just feel like he wants to send love and gratitude to everybody in the family who's honored his life. Okay. So sorry.
No. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know,
I love working with spirit. It just happens.
I know. I'm so glad you're here because you're filling me with this inspiration. This is the direction I'm going. I've just been too afraid to open my mouth on these lives like this, you know?
Don't just get it. And like they're doing with the yes. I think it's so important that, you know, whenever spirit wants to move, just go into it. And, you know, like we're just doing here, it's different when we can hear the voice and get the response, but like this yes to all. So we've got Michelle. So a couple of you are giving me a yes to all. And again, if it resonates with you, take that. If we were in a different, you know, if we could communicate differently, we'd do a little bit of a double check. But I feel like if you're really getting that yes to all, just please tell. And I feel like mom is still here. Tell my mom I'm also doing okay.
Oh. Thank you so much for that. You know, that's a beautiful thing to end on. And you guys, those of you who that might resonate with as well, like you said, there's a couple yes to alls. That's how spirit connects through these little live groups. You know, if it's pinging you, then your person is pinging you. Yeah. And it's also true. A message for you. So please know that. Please know that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad that was
So-
helpful, Molly, or whoever in that connects with that. I feel so much love from this man, and I think he was really an amazing person. So they're all amazing, really, if you think about it.
Mhm, mhm.
Just humans trying to get through life.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, thank you so much. You've been watching Something Super Spiritual Live with the amazing Lauren Rainbow. Thank you so much for being here. You know, I wanted to talk about your trips to Egypt, so we'll have to talk about that next time.
Well, I mean, really fast. Egypt sold out. India's on sale.
India's on sale.
So you
Let's
can't come
go
to
to India.
Egypt with me right now, but if you go to my website, there's a journey to India that is happening in March for Holi, so you can join me there.
You guys,
love it.
thank you all so much for being here. Lauren Rainbow, I love you to smithereens. I'm
Oh,
hugging
yeah.
you from here. And you guys, we'll see you again on Friday. Friday, I'm here with Intuitive Kim, and I'm on Kim Copeland's live, her show Friday as well. So it's a big week. All right.
Big week.
Guys, thank you all for being here.
Bye,
I love you.
everyone. Mwah.